Hi there YouTubers, this is Roscoe and welcome to my review of the Sideshow Collectibles General Grievous 1/6 scale collectible figure. Now, when I first saw initial pics and a few YouTube videos of San Diego Comic-Con last year showing this guy, I was really impressed and I really enjoyed the character from the third Star Wars film, and I knew it was something I wanted to go pick up. So as soon as it became available, I pre-ordered the exclusive version, which I have here, and am very happy with it and impressed at the amount of articulation that this figure has. It has the most articulation out of any figure I've ever purchased. It's insanely good, but it does have its fragile parts as well, which I'll explain shortly. Alright, well firstly we'll go and take a look at the packaging. Now, as you can see, we have a shoebox style packaging. It's absolutely massive. When you first get this piece in the mail, or if you pick it up from a local store, it comes in a massive sort of brown shipper and has 4 foam sort of corner pieces to protect this box here. So it almost feels like you're getting a premium format. So Sideshow have protected it very well. So as you can see, we have the Grievous symbol on the front there. Simple grey packaging. Sideshow edition sticking down the corner. Comes with the extra accessory, which I'll talk about shortly. Now behind this you have a couple of clamshell sleeves which hold all the accessories. Now once you slide it off, you have this really nice cover art sheet which covers up the figure in its foam housing. Really nice image of Grievous there on top of the clones. A whole bunch of dead clones. Now that has a 1/4 inch thick sort of foam backing, once again to protect the figure. So it's not just a simple sheet of cardboard. The artwork is really nice on that. I really like it. So once you slide that off, you get to see the figure pretty much in a neutral straight pose, all secure in foam and little foam inserts. So there's a little tip with getting him out. You shouldn't just pull him straight out. You'll find that quite difficult, and because he has so many sort of sharp and angular parts, it grabs the foam. So what's best to do is actually just pull the whole foam out of the bottom part of the box, remove the little tiny foam inserts, and then push him through the bottom of the actual foam, and you'll find he comes out a lot easier without harming any of the parts. That's a neat little tip I think would help you guys if you're planning on getting him. Anyway, so once you remove that, you'll see the figure, and the figure actually sits in the bottom part of the box here, which has a really nice picture or image of his faceplate or his face sculpt there. So overall the packaging is 10 out of 10 for me with this piece. Very collector friendly. You can take this guy out of the box, put him back, and you wouldn't know it's ever been used or opened. So that's really nice. So I really love the packaging, guys. But it is a big figure, a lot bigger than you'd expect. Okay, accessories. He comes with his cape, nice grey cape. Has like the emblem on the back there. You've got a nice sort of velvet red sort of inner sort of colour. Now that's not completely symmetrical. If I sort of flip it over, as you can see, it's sort of one part's longer than the other. That's when you clip it around his neck, sort of it clips onto the side. So don't think it's something wrong with yours, that it's not sort of equal. That's just the design. So you've got this checkered mesh inner lining, and you have the spaces to put his lightsaber hilts like he has in the film. So that's quite cool. I've had him pose with that for a little while, just with his singular arms. It looks really nice. But I've gone for the forearm look, or splayed arm look for the review. Anyway, so we'll go over this side to some more accessories. Get his sort of the pole with the energy tips on it. I'm not quite sure what that's called, but you've got the purple plastic bits on the end. Replicate the energy, and that's plastic. Quite a large piece as well. Here we have his standard face sculpt. really detailed. The eyes look really cool. You can see how fine and fragile some of the parts are though. On the back you see the magnet. So it's really easy to remove this and put the battle damage one on. Just got to be very careful with those fine detailed parts down the bottom there. But it looks spot on to the character. It's absolutely excellent. Alright, you get 4 lightsaber hilts from other Jedi he's killed. Now they're all different. Now the lit up lightsabers which I have imposed with have the same hilts. Now they're all magnetized so they can snap into his hands without falling out, which is really cool. But I have them all spread out on the counter here like this because get them close enough, they will snap together. So they're all magnetized. So that's quite cool. You get the blaster, which I think Obi-Wan shoots him with in the film. I'm pretty sure it's the same gun. And when you unbox him, he comes with his singular arm. So the forearm look, which is connected before it's actually disconnected in the film. So these are quite big. Now you sort of see the piston sort of area here, which can pivot and turn. It's really cool. You've got 360 degrees of movement where the ball joint connects. You have 180 degrees of movement on the ball joint. You have another 360 degrees once you plug it in and can turn it. So every little joint has a massive amount of, turning or moving capability. Even the shoulder pad, can tilt. As you can see, it looks like 2 of his arms are connected with this piece. Then you've got his hand. Obviously you can move 180 degrees in that ball joint there, 360 degrees around the wrist, and all the fingers can move as well. Now they look very fragile. I wouldn't try putting too much pressure on them, but for something so thin, it seems to be holding up quite well so far. And I think there's a little part there that might be magnetized, which helps the sabers grab onto. You can see it's got 6 fingers there. When this comes apart, when you get to see his other arms, there's 3 fingers on each hand. So now to get them on and off, I'll show you on the finger here now. Right in there, that's where you disconnect it. Not up in there where there's the double, but there's a little where it joins to the body. That's where you remove it. Now he comes with a display stand, which is quite large. It turns 360 degree movement around the bottom here, so you can have it sort of angled any which direction you want, and then it pivots 180 degrees depending where you've got it angled. So this part here goes forward and back how I have it at the moment. Now the stand's very light. He can stand on his own with no trouble, but you have to have him well balanced. In the pose I've got him in now, I just wanted to stand on him to be safe. But even so, it's not really a strong base. It is light. If the figure moves, the base will drag with him. It's not very tight. So if this actually becomes to sort of, this part here starts to bend forward, it'll just, the figure will just pull it forward and topple over. So make sure you really trust the pose you have him in the stand, and put him in a place where it's not going to get knocked or bumped too much, because you'll probably find you'll end up working the figure off it. So this figure, make sure you trust the pose you have him in and put it somewhere really safe before you, leave it. So the stand could have been better, but it does its job, I suppose. Alright guys, here we have the lit lightsabers. You get 2 green ones. One there, got one there, and you get 2 blue sabers. As I said, you get sort of 3, because they've come apart, you get 3 fingers on each. Now they don't completely go around. Sometimes you sort of have to angle it in, and because that sort of black section does stop it a little bit. You don't want to force the fingers around the lightsaber if you don't have to. Of course the magnet does its job, so. And the top I've been able to get it right in that angle, but for the pose I've got here, they've sort of just rested the fingers on it. Alright, here we have the battle damage sculpt, which is the Sideshow exclusive. Looks really cool. Love the character in the film, and Sideshow have done an amazing job with this guy. Let's give you guys a quick look at the figure first. Have him in the forearm look before he fights Obi-Wan. He's taking the cape off. He's just about to go crazy with the lightsabers. Now he's a massive figure. You'd be very surprised how tall he is. I have him crouched and he's taller than a standard 1/6 scale figure. Standing him up, he's I think close to 16 to 18 inches, I think. Fully stood up tall. Now, how Sideshow have actually, giving so much articulation and looks exactly like it does in the film is brilliant. The colour scheme is perfect from memory. All the armour plating. The character's well and truly brought to life, that's for sure. Now, I'll talk about the articulation. I'm sure I'll miss a few things because there's just so many, things that move on this guy. I'm bound to miss a few. But one thing I'm a little bit worried about is some of his joints are very tight. And you just worry with plastic over time, if plastic does get brittle, if these joints stay as tight as they are, especially in the ankle area, they sort of snap like ratchet sort of joints, they clip into place. If they get brittle, what's going to happen in time? We try to bend them so hard to click them into place. I wonder if they're going to snap. So far, it freaked me out at first. Moving some of you need to use quite a bit of force, but they eventually do click in, and they seem to be holding up okay. You can't get replacement parts for this, and obviously if something breaks, it's part of the actual figure. So you're in trouble there if something does break. So make sure the joint is angling the right direction before you start turning it. Before you move every single joint or section, just pay attention to where it's angling before you move it. So go slow with this guy, don't go quick like he would a standard 1/6 scale figure. So I'll start with this arm here. Obviously you can twist it in this part here, 360 degrees. You have your 180 degrees on the ball joint, another 360 here. You could bend the arm in 90 degrees here, then you have 180 degrees there. And in here, you have two more ball joints, which you can twist in here, 180 degrees there, and twist there again with 360. Plus you have your 360 degrees movement where it's connected. Then you have your shoulder pads, which will cover up wherever you decide to angle them. The head can sort of pivot, sort of like a slight rotation sort of way. Then you have his whole chest and body, which can tilt down and up. It's a little bit loose. You sort of feel that if you hold it up a bit and let go, it will sink a little bit. So, love the actual look of the organs. That green plastic was sort of see-through and see some of his inner organs. Obviously you have his hip joint, which can sort of cut like that, sort of rotate slightly. It doesn't go completely 360, but you sort of get that circular type movement. Obviously you can kick it up like a kicking pose, right back as well. You have your joint in here, another joint in the knee there. You have your ankle ball joint there, and you can twist the leg 360 degrees as well. Then you have your sort of spider feet to it. So that's obviously replicated over both sides of the figure. Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. Any pose or any direction you want the arms or the legs to go, they will do it. So that's what makes it hard to decide how to have him, because you can replicate any pose from the film, no problem. It just takes a little bit of time to make sure you do bend the joints in the right direction. As soon as you start bending them in the wrong direction, that's when you can have issues, and as soon as something snaps in this guy, the heart will drop, that's for sure. So for such a detailed and finely intricate figure with lots of fine parts, I thought it'd be a lot more fragile, and it's actually holding up okay so far. I've had no QC problems. It's been excellent so far, and I'm really enjoying it. Unfortunately it's that big I've got nowhere to put it, so I'll be boxing him back up for a little while till I get the space, but we'll be unboxing him. So I have the tedious task of straightening them all back out perfectly and sliding back into the foam. Yeah, Sideshow just captured this guy perfectly. It's amazing. I know it's even pleasing a lot of statue collectors. I've seen quite a few guys collect statues actually pick this guy up. Just goes to show how cool this guy is. It's probably the best Grievous piece out there at the moment. He's very pricey, so be very careful with him. I absolutely love it. The overall package from top to bottom is outstanding. And just his overall presence in the display, like just looking here on the counter. You know, the camera looks good, but in person just really looks really cool. I absolutely love it. Right guys, hope I've covered everything you might find handy or useful about this figure. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks guys. Bye bye.